Let's move on to my Week 15 NFL picks. Last week I had a pretty good week. I went 11-5 with my picks. Overall for the year, I'm at 135, 72, and 1. Here are my Week 15 NFL picks as Fox has doubleheader action this weekend. Thursday night action begins it off with the New York Jets traveling down to Baltimore to take on the Ravens, a game that will be shown nationally on Fox Television, the NFL Network, and Amazon Prime Video. Lamar Jackson is battling through a quad injury. He says he will be playing, which I believe he will. And that's the reason why I'm taking the Ravens to beat the Jets. The Ravens are just a better team here. So give me the Ravens to beat the Jets, Sunday action, we have the New England Patriots traveling to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. Of course, the Patriots are in the news again this week for doing some filming of the Cincinnati Bengals hand signs, apparently, at a game recently against the Cincinnati Bengals, a team that's won only one game this year. I know the Patriots have been struggling a little bit. They've lost their last two games. But they did not need to film any Bengals hand signals. The Patriots are the better team here. They will go into Cincinnati and beat the Bengals. So I think it will actually be a close game. But give me the Patriots to win. Tampa Bay Bucks travel up to Detroit to take on the Lions here. I was actually waffling on this one. I know the Lions are not a very good team right now. Matthew Stafford's out right now. I was actually waffling. I was thinking about taking the Lions, but I'm actually going to take the Bucks. I'm going to take the Bucks on the road to beat the Lions. I think they're just the better team at this point. So give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to go into Detroit to beat the Lions. NFC North matchup, we have the Chicago Bears traveling to Green Bay to take on the Packers. This is the Packers' final home game of the year already. They will finish up with the final two games of the season on the road against NFC North opponents. The Bears can play a big spoiler here and help out the Vikings as much as they don't want to. I think the Bears will be up for it, but I'm going to take Green Bay to win. Green Bay didn't look too convincing last week against Washington, but I think they will bounce back and beat Chicago Bears in Green Bay. Again, I think another close battle between these two rivals here. AFC South action, we have the Houston Texans traveling to Tennessee to take on the Titans. Of course, it is the new Houston team against the old Houston team when it was the Houston Oilers. Of course, now the Tennessee Titans. Again, waffling on this one back and forth. The Texans, of course, I know they lost to Denver last week, but they came off a big win against the Patriots the week before that. I think the Texans are just a better team here. I think it's a close game, but I'll take the Houston Texans on the road to beat the Tennessee Titans. AFC West action here. We have the Denver Broncos traveling to the midsection to take on the Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead. Like I said, the Broncos came off that big win against the Texans. The Chiefs getting that big win against the New England Patriots last Sunday late afternoon. The Broncos showed me a lot here going into Houston, winning convincingly. The Chiefs did the same in New England. I think the Chiefs are just a better team here. I'll take them at home to beat the Denver Broncos. Miami Dolphins traveled to the Meadowlands to take on the Giants, and two very disappointing teams here. We'll see what the quarterback situation is with the Giants. I know Eli, he didn't play bad on Monday night against the Eagles in a game they lost in overtime. If Daniel Jones is healthy, he will be starting apparently, so we'll wait and see. This is actually where my upset pick of the week lies. The Giants are actually a home favorite as of the time I'm doing this. I'm actually going to take the Dolphins to go up to the Meadowlands and beat the Giants no matter who the quarterback is for the Giants. So I'll take the Dolphins as my upset pick of the week. NFC East action. We have the Philadelphia Eagles traveling down I-95 to the nation's capital to take on Washington. I know Washington put up a somewhat of a strong showing against Green Bay, even though I think it was more Green Bay overlooking Washington. The Eagles got the overtime win against the Giants on Monday Night Football. The Eagles are the better team here. This is a game they need to have to stay in the NFC East race here to maybe win the division. I'll take the Eagles to beat Washington. Seattle Seahawks to travel across the country to Carolina to take on the Panthers. Panthers, of course, without Cam Newton, he's out for the year. Seahawks, playing extraordinarily well. I know they did lose to the Rams on Sunday Night Football. I think the Seahawks bounce back here. They beat the Carolina Panthers in Charlotte. Jacksonville Jaguars travel out west of the Bay Area to take on the Oakland Raiders here. Jaguars, I had picked them last week against the Chargers at home. That turned out to be a big mistake on my part. The Raiders here, they need it in the most important way here. I'm taking the Raiders. They're just a better team. They will win at home against the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Cleveland Browns travel out west to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. Again, the Browns, they got a win last week here against the Bengals. in a close game. The Cardinals, um, just, I mean, they're going through some growing pains right now. Arizona is. I know Kyler Murray is a pretty good quarterback, but it's not a very good team around him. Cleveland Browns are the better team. I'll take them on the road to beat the Cardinals. Minnesota Vikings travel out west to Southern California to take on the LA Chargers in Carson. I'm a Packers fan. I've made no secret about that. I'm hoping that the Chargers win, but I'm going with logic here. I'm going to go use my brain. I think the Vikings are just a better team here. I'll take the Vikings on the road to go out to Southern California to beat the Chargers. The LA Rams travel to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. This will be a feature matchup for Fox in the late afternoon. I was waffling back and forth on this one. I know the Cowboys have been struggling here as of late as well. The Rams coming off that big win against the Seahawks on Sunday night. I'm going to take Dallas. I think Dallas somehow pulls this one out and gets back on track in a close game to beat the Rams. Atlanta Falcons travel out to the Bay Area to take on the 49ers. This is interesting. I know the Falcons have been playing better as of late. They got a big win against the Panthers. 49ers doing their thing here. The 49ers, of course, they are coming off a big win against the Saints last week in New Orleans. I'm going to take the 49ers. They're just a better team here. I think they continue their momentum. They beat the Falcons, and I think will be a competitive game. Sunday Night Football this week airs nationally on NBC television. We have the Buffalo Bills, a rare Sunday night appearance for the Buffalo Bills. They travel to the Steel City to take on the Steelers here. Very important game for both teams here. That's why this game was flexed into the Sunday night spots. Of course, the Bills, they are coming off a tough defeat against the Ravens last week, though they played well, but just came up short, while the Steelers continue to make their push here. The Steelers are coming off a win last week at Arizona. I think I'm going to take the Steelers at home. It's at home Sunday night in Pittsburgh. I think it's a close game. It wouldn't shock me to see the Bills win, but I'm going to take the Steelers slightly to be better than the Bills here. Monday Night Football this week on ESPN. It's a good one. You have the Indianapolis Colts traveling down to the Superdome to take on the Saints. Should be very competitive. I'm going to take the Saints at home in a very good game against the Colts. So those are my Week 15 NFL picks.